Hi everyone. Well, as you can see, back on the V-Star today. Got the new Spider is in the shop getting a service bulletin done on it that needed to be done, and thought we'd get it done while it's so hot. It's in the mid 80s right now, headed up to the mid 90s, pretty much be the temperature of the sun this afternoon on this pavement, and so I'm making a quick run to the store right now. But what I wanted to talk to you about was squirrels. Now, if you're a little squeamish about squirrels, maybe this isn't the best vlog for you, or just, you know, I'm not going to get too graphic about it, but I have some stories about some squirrels I'd like to tell you about. Some people think of squirrels as the furry little comedians of the backyard. Other people think of them as fuzzy-tailed rats that just have real good PR people. I'm somewhere in between. Sometimes I feel one way, sometimes I feel the other way. The reason I'm bringing this up is we have a bird feeder, and we've got it right outside our window, living room window, and my wife likes to sit there in her chair in the morning, and really anytime when she can, and she'll drink a cup of coffee, or she'll just sit and knit, or something, and she likes to be able to sit there and look at the birds on her bird feeder. And the problem we have is we have a family of squirrels that live in the trees right around us, and they have learned how to access our bird feeder and get all the bird seed out of it. And they just hang on to it and reach in there with their little grubby little hands and pull it out and eat it, and eat it all. And they can empty the bird feeder in about 2 days, which is we're going through a lot of bird seed. Now, birdseed's not that expensive, and I'm not really, you know, like I said, I don't really care one way or the other, but the trouble is when the squirrels are on the bird feeder, the birds stay away. And they seem to be spending more and more time away from the bird feeder because the squirrels are there more and more. So I'm on a mission, headed to the store to take a look around to see what I might be able to find. We've been greasing the pole, which works for a little while, but I don't really have the right kind of grease at the house. We've been using cooking spray. And that works okay for a couple hours, but after a while, I don't know if it evaporates or the little squirrels rub it off the pole or whatever, but they're able to still climb up and jump on it. And if I can keep them off the pole, I can keep them from getting to the bird feeder, because that's their only access right now, until they figure something else out. But, so headed to the store to try to find something. Let me tell you about squirrels a little bit. I may have mentioned this about my grandfather. I come by my combative attitude toward squirrels naturally. My grandfather hated squirrels. He would try to run over one every time he saw them, and I may have mentioned this story once before, but just a synopsis of it. On 2 separate occasions, about 2 weeks apart, my grandfather ran into someone who panic stopped for a squirrel running across the road in front of him and damaged his car both times. And he said, after he said as much money as he had to spend on that, he said from then on, he said he's going to run over every damn squirrel he saw. Well, I don't know that he ever ran over one. He was 80 years old, and his eyesight wasn't all that great. I'm not even sure he could even see the squirrels when he's driving. But that was his attitude. Well, let me tell you about my dad. Now, my grandfather and my father, and where I grew up, were in the city. So, you know, you really can't do anything to a squirrel. You can't hunt a squirrel. You can't trap it. You can't do anything to it because it's just against the law there. And our neighbors always were squirrel lovers, and so, you know, if you try to do anything to a squirrel, if I was a kid, if I threw a rock at a squirrel, my neighbor would call and complain to my parents. So actually direct action against a squirrel was kind of out. But the problem is these cute little fuzzy little rats would climb up into the eaves of the house and chew their way through the wooden louvers there and take up residence inside of our attic of our house. And they were chewed up everything and crapped all over everything, and just, you know, we're just basically house rats at that point. And we tried everything. Finally, the thing that worked the best was we were able to get some hog wire, chicken wire, whatever you want to call it, and my father paid a man to go up there and just really cover the whole end of the house with this wire so that the squirrels couldn't chew through the wood siding anymore. Not that they didn't keep trying. You'd hear them. They'd be up there trying to any little piece of exposed wood, they'd be trying to eat their way through into the house. And well, anyway, well, I moved, when I built a house, I built it out in the country. And you can hunt squirrels in the country. And for years, I never had a problem with a squirrel. I didn't have to shoot many of them. But once they heard me shoot a couple of times around the house, most of the squirrels moved away to the farther back down in the woods, and they never really bothered us. Now, with me coming and going back and forth between Atlanta and North Carolina, the squirrels have kind of taken up residence again around the house, because my wife is a bird lover and she has a bird feeder there too. But when we're not there, we don't fill the bird feeder up, so the squirrels kind of go somewhere else. And when they are around, I'll go out and fire off a shot or two, and that usually scares them away, and they'll disappear for a while. So no problems there. But here in Atlanta, I find myself again in a neighborhood where it is not feasible to shoot the squirrels, or even shoot near a squirrel, just try to scare one off, because the neighbors get real excited and real upset. So I'm trying to have to figure out something else. But what do you think about squirrels? You guys have problems with squirrels? Do you have a way to keep them from A, eating their way through your house, and B, getting all your birds seed, keep scaring all your birds away? I'd really appreciate any ideas anybody has. Okay, well, I'm going to be here at the store in just a minute and see what I can find. If I come up with something really cool, I'll get back on here and tell you. Okay, finished with the store. It's amazing what you can find out if you just go look. Turns out that they make products to repel squirrels and chipmunks and groundhogs and other little things from areas that you don't want them in, like around your plants and things like that they've been digging up or eating. And I feel sure it'll work around the bird feeder as well, especially since I can concentrate it right around the bird feeder to hopefully keep them off. Now, it doesn't kill them. Nobody get excited. Apparently what it does, it's a nasal irritant. Apparently when the little fuzzy little squirrel rats are going to be digging around underneath the bird feeder for the spilled bird seed that the birds have knocked down, they're going to get their noses right down into this stuff, and according to the manufacturer, this will create a natural response, that is that they will leave. And we'll see what happens. I don't think they'll leave the whole yard. I mean, my wife we'd still like to, watch them around, and I don't mind feeding the little boogers. I get some corn for them every now and then. We'll get a corn cob and put it out there tied to a tree limb. That's fun. They love that. And we'll do that. But I just don't want them on the bird feeder. So we're going to give it a try. I also got I've got my plan B, which I'll probably put with both of them. I've got some white lithium grease I'm going to grease the pole with as well. And that's always fun to watch them when they jump up on the pole and start sliding down, and they turn and look at you through the window and go, "What?" And they just have the most surprised look on their face as they slide slowly down the pole. And that's worth the price of admission right there. So for about, I don't know, 20 bucks, I got another shot at it taking care of them, knocking them out. We'll see what happens. I will keep you informed. Also show you a picture of what I purchased for my ongoing warfare with the squirrels. Non-lethal warfare, of course. But just thought I'd tell you about it. Oh yeah, I also want to tell you about one more thing, and I'll show you these too. I know you guys overseas won't have one, but anybody here in the States, if you go to a Home Depot store, Home Depot has a brand called Husky. Now, it's not big clothes for fat people, although that would work for me as well. But what it is actually is just a line of tools that they have, wrenches, all kinds of stuff. Well, they have work gloves, and they have mechanics gloves, and they have a pair of fingerless gloves just like these, which I've taken a magic marker and scribbled out the Husky that was in real bright lights on there. But $14.95, a really nice pair, heavy-duty pair of fingerless gloves with really good sticky, tacky rubber palms on them. And they're not padded, so I still get a good feel because I've got some really good grips on here. But it's a real good, tacky, sticky, grip, so I'm not going to drop anything. And it still gives me my fingers free for if I need to touch, my phone's not up here, but if I need to touch the touch screen on the phone or work with the GPS or something like that, I don't have to take a glove off while I'm doing it. So anyway, I'll show you those two. Picked up a pair of those while I was out. And now I'm just headed back to the house before it gets too hot. I've got a little thermometer that I have on the bike, but it stays with the windshield. And since I've got the windshield off for maximum wind, which is what I'm getting right now, to keep me cool, I don't have the temperature here, but the last time I looked it was 85 headed north. It was going to be 93 within an hour from the time I looked at it according to the forecast. So it's warming up. That's okay. I mean, it is June in Atlanta, and it'll be the surface of the sun here in just a little bit. Like I said, won't even be able to walk on the pavement. It'll sink in. Okay, well guys, I'll let you know how it works out with the squirrels. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay guys, I just thought I'd show you. This is what I got here by Ortho. Animal Be Gone, and it shows the main culprit, the squirrel there, so hopefully he's going to work out. And I also got some of this white lithium grease to grease the pole with, so hopefully I can keep him off the pole. One other thing I'll show you, I mentioned the gloves. These are the Husky brand mechanics gloves, fingerless. And let me tell you, those are some really nice gloves. They're not any cheaper than anything else you can buy probably, but they're stretchy, and they have the really great sticky palm on them, and that's what I use for this bike, and I want to keep a pair in carrying the Spider too. All right, man. All right, well guys, we'll talk to you later, and have a good day. Bye-bye.